Okay, recording.
Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, this is gonna be good, guys. This is gonna be so good. Thank God it's gonna be recorded. So, first off, we're gonna talk about Kirsten because she's amazing. She just promoted to Emerald last month. She promoted to Diamond this month, like whoop whoop. But I feel like she's so good with mindset, motivation, things like that. So I had her get on here, guys, about it. But first things first, I want you to just introduce yourself in case no one knows who you are. Tell people your story, how it works, how long you've been in the business, how old you are, etc.
Okay, so I am Kirsten. I am 29 years old. I've actually been doing this for, I want to say 10 months now. I started in March of this year, words. Honestly, I didn't really know before this came into my path, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. Like, I didn't really have any goals. I didn't go to university. I didn't finish school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I kept chopping and changing everything. I used to work at Walmart and put my all into it, like I always just put everything that I could into it and always felt like I was underappreciated no matter what I did. Everybody always took credit for my stuff. And I just put so much of myself into it that I actually, it kind of sucks because I actually got so sick. People would come up to me and be like, "You need to eat, girl." Like I was 108 pounds. I was so sick all the time. I had to take time off all the time. And it actually got to the point where I either had to quit or I was going to get fired. So I made a decision for my mental health because it wasn't doing me any favors. It just wasn't. So I quit there. Then I fell pregnant with Xavier. And after I had him, well, while I was pregnant with him, I always planned on, staying home with him for a little bit and then eventually putting him into daycare. But as soon as I had him, I just couldn't. Like, he was my security blanket. I know a lot of y'all know me and know that I suffer really bad with anxiety. I'm a pretty shy person and I don't really people too well a lot of the time. So, but whenever I have him around me, like, he's my security blanket because everybody loves him. Everybody always wants to talk to him and, whatever. So I couldn't leave him. I just couldn't do it. But at the same time, it's like my husband is the only one bringing in a paycheck. We're literally living on a budget so strict that we can't buy anything for ourselves. So when Jamie messaged me and, told me all about this, I'm just like, okay, I got to do this. I got to try something so that I can stay at home with him. And I honestly didn't think it would go anywhere in the beginning. I didn't have faith. But now I do. And now I'm here.
And now you're Emerald going for Diamond.
Yep.
Like what? Okay, hold on. Be quiet. Okay, yay. Okay, so it just shows that this is so important that Kristen, same thing with all of us, they didn't just jump in and became Emerald 2 days later. It's been a journey. It's been a journey.
Oh, yeah.
It's been low, it's all over the place. So I just love it. And I feel like I said, Kristen is so good with her mindset. And I feel and the really good thing that she does is, get out of my face, is she always catches it. You know what I'm saying? You always are all right, Jamie, I need something because it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Can you guys all hear me?
Yeah, I can, but I think Michelle.
I can hear you.
I can barely hear you.
You're in. I can hear you.
Can you guys hear me now? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. We're just gonna roll with it. Hopefully it records right. Okay. So I'll just talk really loud. Okay. First, how are you so motivated all the time, even like good times, bad times? Like, how do you stay?
Honestly, a lot of times I have to force myself because, like I said, for example, when I was pregnant, I was actually on two different types of medication for anxiety, and I still suffer with that pretty bad, but I took myself off of them because I felt like a robot, and that wasn't cool. Like, I was forgetting things, and it just wasn't fun. So I've had to find ways around that for myself. So I'm not gonna lie, there's more days than not that I feel not motivated, but I have to push myself because I have to get this done. I have to get stuff done. So I have alarms set on my phone. Some days I turn them off because I don't need them because I'm just like, okay, I'm focused on getting this done. I'm good. But there's a lot of days where I'll set an alarm once an hour to make sure I message people. I'll set an alarm to remind myself to post in my stories. I'll set an alarm to make sure I set aside, 20 minutes to do my life post or whatever. And also, for me, kind of like setting myself a schedule and setting myself into a routine, like making sure I get up the same time every day, making sure I do certain things at the same time every day. That really helps me because I get into, like I said, a routine. So it's kind of like how I was when I was working retail. I did things at the same time every day. And that really, like, I got into a rhythm. So
Mm-hmm.
when you're in that rhythm, it's easier to motivate yourself because you're like, okay, so it's this time, so I got to do this. Now it's this time, and I got to do this. Now I can give myself a little bit of a break, and then I'll carry on and I'll get this next bit done. So,
That's so good. And like I still do alarms on my phone all the time too, and I do the one once an hour thing too because I mean even when you do stay home, like you can get very distracted,
oh yeah.
very distracted.
Oh yeah.
You can like be doing something and like 2 hours passes by and you're like, oh my god, like what did I do for 2 hours? Like that happens to me all the time. So like yeah, I do the alarm things too because like what also helps me is having a six list, which is just six things. It doesn't have to be six things, but mine six things that you have to do for your business no matter what. No
Yeah.
matter what. Doesn't matter if you go to the hospital, if you're sick, your kids like coloring on the wall, like it's six things that you do no matter what. And then like I kind of just work my way around the day, making sure I get all of those six things done. Like, um, so yeah, alarms are great, like they're amazing. So okay, so let's talk a little bit about mindset because you've kind of been through a lot of life and business already in this business because you've been in here for so long. And like I said, you've had ups, downs, all the crazy stuff. So how is your mindset and like what do you do to make sure that it's in check always? And like talk about the importance of having like your mindset right.
So, obviously, it kind of goes hand in hand with anxiety. Your mindset is not always the greatest when you have anxiety because you overthink, you overanalyze, you worry about everything. And I've kind of, I don't know if conditioned is the right word, but I've kind of trained myself to look out for certain things so that I know when I'm starting to get in a bad place or starting to get into a funk. And I will literally, what I will do, the first thing I will do is I will go to YouTube and I will type um, motivational speech for stress or motivational speech for depression or motivational speech for anxiety or motivational speech for like whatever I'm feeling, whatever that feeling I'm having is, I'll type in motivational speech, whatever. And all these people come up and I literally watch it for like an hour.
So good.
And it's so amazing. And
Yeah,
then,
and YouTube has literally something for like every specific
yeah,
thing.
that's why I said like I whatever I'm feeling, I will type that in and I'll find something. Or I'll click on one thing and it might not be quite right, but they have a suggested list of videos. So I know there's going to be something there that's going to help me. And then the other thing that I do is I reach out to Jamie a lot. I reach out to other people on my team because for me personally, videos don't always work for me. Like I have to be able to speak it out. I have to let all my frustrations and all my emotions out. I have to talk about it because I'm talking it out into the universe and then it's gone.
You're releasing it.
Yeah, I'm releasing it out and then I'm saying to myself, okay, bye. Like, okay, you're gone now. Go away. I don't need you anymore. So, and then another thing I do, honestly, like yesterday, I'm not going to lie, I went and sat in my bathroom and cried for 10 minutes. I sat there and cried for 10 minutes because I was having such a horrible day. And then after that, I felt better. It was like a whole release, like a whole weight just gone from my shoulders.
So
And
good.
reminding myself that I can do this and I'm worthy of this and I deserve this. And I'm meant to be here. This is what I'm meant to be doing.
Like, she's an emerald. So you guys that, aren't emerald yet, you're probably like, why? What does she have to cry about? Like, her life is so good. She's emerald. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you make. Stuff's always going to happen. Life's always going to be happening. Your business is going to be up, down. Like, you know what I mean? It's always going to be crazy. So it does not matter where you are in the business. Like, you're going to have down days. You're going to have really high days. And, you have to, I feel like you have to really, really pay attention to yourself and know yourself, because no one knows you better than you. No one knows like how you are, what triggers you. And as soon as you get that trigger, that's you, like Kristen said, watch a video. That's when you know to reach out to a friend. That's when you know to go cry. But you know that trigger. You know what I mean? And I love that. And like, I mean, I do that too. Like, I'm just like, some days, like, I am just like off the wall, like so upset, so emotional, because this business is very emotional. Like, it just, people think it's easy, but like, it's pretty hard. Like, you go through a lot of growing in this business, like, good.
Yes.
So, I love that. And I love that you talked about talking to a friend. And I mean, that's so important. And like, it's so much more than just like, spilling your like problems on other people, but like, it's like you're growing relationships and you're like talking to these people and like they're being your friends, which is so good. So if you guys don't have that somebody, I encourage you to go in your team chat and just message somebody, just a random person, and say, hey girl, my name is Michelle.
And
hey,
don't be scared to reach out to people because you're allowed to you're allowed to reach out to people. You're allowed to vent your frustrations. You're a human being. You have frustrations, you have emotions,
and
So,
hey,
and it's that's one of the main things that I struggled with in the beginning, is because I'm really hard on myself and I take things personally a lot. And I used to just keep it all in. I'd be like, okay, they don't need to know that. Like, I know what I need to be doing. I just need to get on with it. I just need to push all that back. But then it would just all keep adding and adding and building and building. And then I would just like, I would just go crazy. I would just blow up and go crazy and like blow up Jamie's phone. And she'd be like, stop, chill.
stop.
So,
And yeah, like, I mean, it happens to like all of us, and it's always going to happen. And like you said, like, you're hard on yourself. I'm the same exact way. Like, if I am not being the perfect person, which is so unrealistic, I'm so hard on myself always, and I beat myself up. And that's something that I know that triggers me. So like, I work on that, and like, that's again where like talking it out and releasing it, and like, that's like when I tell you guys to do lives, that's like what I get when I do a live. Like, I am like on it, like white on rice. Like, I don't know if y'all saw the live I did the other day, but I don't know if I was mean, but like I was so frustrated and I just like spilled it out to everyone and like so many people like loved it. They were like, holy crap, you're so right. And like it was just a frustration I was feeling and I got it out and it helped and it made me feel so much better because I just talked about it. And then yeah, it's just so good to talk about it. And with anything, and it doesn't even have to be all business. Like, you know what I mean? I talk to some of my girls just about personal stuff too. It does not have to be all business because we understand that everyone has lives besides this business. So make a friend and like talk to them always and reach out if you're having a bad day, if you're struggling, if you like any emotions, reach out. And same thing with YouTube. YouTube is such a good like resource. It's free. And that's where a lot of my life posts come from because I'm watching something that is helping me with my stress and like they say like one line and I'm like completely mind blown. I'm like, oh, that was so good. That's like a whole post. Like it's so good. So like definitely YouTube like are amazing for that. And like you said, you can look them up anytime.
Well, and that's the other thing as well. Like if you're having a bad day and you don't talk about it, it's going to affect your business.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't talk about it, if you don't release it, if you don't speak it out and just get rid of it, it's going to affect your business. It's going to affect your day. It's going to affect how you're talking to people and the vibe they get off of you. It's going to.
Yeah, it's just basically like feeding the monster every day you don't talk about it and every day you don't address it. And like that's what I said, like when you get to know yourself and know to the point that you're about to like be in a funk or go through something like this, like get yourself to what triggers it. Like I know for me personally, my mom, she triggers me every time. Like every time I'm in the room with her, she just gets me down because she's such a negative person. And so I know that when she comes here on the weekends, like I cannot really be around her that much. Like it's bad to say, but that's just my trigger. It always has been. And that's fine. But I know that so I can like prepare myself to not get to there because once you get there, it's very hard to get out of. Dakota. Okay. So this is like a big boo boo. So let's talk about like procrastination.
Oh my
That's
God.
a big one.
Yeah.
That can affect your mind, like if you have a bad mindset and all that.
Well, it doesn't only affect your mindset, it affects your motivation. It just affects everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of like your procrastination can undo the glue of your day. And I'm terrible for procrastination sometimes because I'll be like, okay, I'll just do 5 more minutes of this, or I'll just do 5 more minutes of that, or like I'm a huge video game person. So I'll start playing a video game and then I'll just be like, okay, 2 hours went by. What the crap did I just do? So to get around that, I actually write out goals for myself for the day, or I'll challenge myself to something. I'll be like, so I can't do this until I've done so much of this. So I'm not allowed to go watch 5 minutes of TV until I have gotten 10 posts up. Or I can't do this until I've followed up with these people. Like it's kind of like rewarding yourself for the little things that you've done to get around the procrastination.
Yes, that's so good. And like, yeah, and I do that all the time. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I can go do this. Like something I want to do or something.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you just keep saying, oh, I'll just do this and I'll do that later, you're never going to get it done. You're just not. You're just going to keep pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off. And then it's going to be like 2 o'clock in the morning and you're like, oh crap, I haven't done anything today.
So like for like procrastination, because you stay home all day. So like what do you do? Do you have like small little goals that you do throughout the day? Do you have a list of stuff that you have to do? Do you do power hours? Like what do you do?
I do a combination of that. So like if I really notice myself being like really procrastinating, then I'll do a power hour for myself, or somebody on my team will be like, oh, hey, power hour, and we'll do that. And like I said, I set challenges for myself. And then if I can do that challenge, then I'll give that challenge to my team also.
Yes. That's so good. That's so duplicatable. And I do the same
So,
thing like, every morning when I wake up. Like I know, and this is another trigger, like if I don't get 5 host to post out before noon, like I'm freaking out. Like I'm just freaking out. I'm so anxious. So like that's something that like I set for myself just personally, and like I feel like when you have those personal things that like like if you do this, like you will get this result, like it just motivates you to do it more, like you know what I mean. So like I feel like you need to like just kind of figure out, okay, I know if I talk to 100 people today, one person will sign up, like so like
well, okay, so the funny thing is, as well, though, with the procrastination and like setting goals and challenges for myself, so I'll be like, okay, so I'll do this amount and then I get this, but then I get so distracted and caught up with actually doing the stuff I'm supposed to do for my business that I forget about everything else.
yeah,
Because I'm just so excited about talking to all these people and getting all these posts out and getting all these customers and everything. Like you just forget. Like that just goes to the back of your mind and you're like, okay, let's do this, let's go. It's like ah.
that's so
So
true. So true. I like didn't even think of it like that. But yeah, it's like so, and like I get like that too. Like I'm like just doing what I like. I'm literally trying to get 5 hosts to post up, and then I get 4 up, and then like 50 people comment. This doesn't happen all the time, but you know what I mean. And then it's like,
yeah.
what? Like you have no time to like eat today. It's fine. Like it's so good. That's so good. Okay, so you do power hours with your team. You give yourself little small like goals and like challenges, and you do those daily or weekly.
Yes.
Okay. And then do you have like weekly goals? Do you have like monthly goals too that you like set yourself for?
Honestly, I have to take it a day at a time because if I don't just do it daily, I get overwhelmed
Because you have 30.
because I think too much about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stress myself out. And then I'm like, okay, well, I haven't gotten all my goals done for today. So how am I going to get all my goals done for the week and blah, 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 blah. And I just drive myself crazy. So I
Yeah.
have to split it up by day. Because
No,
if I don't split it up by day, then I'm just going to drive myself insane.
I love that. And it is like sometimes like intimidating when you're like looking at a month and it's like that's like I have a lot to do in a month, but like if you split it up daily, like it's not that much. Like it's not so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Um so that's definitely true.
Because
So
that's
like
what I do with posts as well. Like, say I get, like 20 posts up one day and they've all got comments on them. And I'm just like, I wasn't expecting all this. So then I'll literally just focus on one post at a time.
mhm.
I'll take care of all the people on that post. And then when I'm done talking to all those people, or they don't message me back or whatever, then I'll move on to the next post. And I'll take care of all the comments on that one. And I just break it up because otherwise, like I said, I just get overwhelmed.
Yeah. And I
Like
mean
I'm just like I have all these people to message and I have all these people that are expecting me to talk to them and I'm like, okay, let's just break it up.
yeah, it does get overwhelming sometimes. Like that's kind of how I was today. Like it was so many people, and like you said, you just do it one at a time. And I feel like especially when you're new, you feel like you have to like message them back right away, like within seconds, or you're gonna lose them. And I mean, if you guys do feel like that is just so not the case. Like, obviously, if you message them back, the sooner the better. But I mean, they're not going to fall off the face of the earth if you don't message them back within 2 seconds. That was a big thing I had to learn because I always struggled with that. I was like, I have to do it like now or they're gone. And that's not the case.
Yeah,
So,
that's I still get like that. I still do. I'm just like, I don't want to lose, I don't want them to go away. But
I
they
don't,
won't because obviously they have lives too. Some of them are at work, some of them have multiple jobs or they're doing this or they're doing that. So sometimes you message them and it'll take 3 days for them to message you back.
yeah. And like, that's like a good point too, because sometimes you're like irritated that like, okay, they said they were going to order, they didn't message me back. But like, again, like you said, like, you have to remember, like, you have a life, they have a life. Like, maybe they're getting their kids a bath, maybe they're eating dinner, maybe they're out looking at Christmas lights. Like, you know what I mean? Not everyone like sits on their phone all day like we do, or like are really intentional.
Yeah.
phone. So that's like a really good thing to learn too, that from like a different perspective, that like the people you are talking to, they do have lives too. So like it's okay. But it is hard to learn.
Like, just take a step back and just, yeah, look at it from somebody else's perspective.
Right. For sure. So, okay, so you do all this stuff, like love it, your mindset's good, you set goals for yourself. So how do you like reward yourself? Like, do you give yourself a pat on the back? Because I feel like that's so important, because if you're like doing, especially with people that don't have someone that's like, good job, like I'm rooting for you, like,
Right.
so like how does that all work too?
Well, it took me a while to realize that I'm allowed to reward myself, if that makes sense. Because I'm so like focused on making sure I get everything done, making sure my team is good. Like, I care about everybody and everything so much that I just forget about myself. And it takes somebody reminding me that, okay, dude, chill. You need to go do something for yourself. So actually, what I'm doing next week is I'm going to go get my nails done. I'm going to go do something for me. And if I hit all my goals tomorrow, then I'm going to go buy myself a shirt because I can, because I'm still wearing shirts from last summer.
Yeah, and
So,
like it's, you can like get so drained, like, and I did this too in the beginning, like I didn't really think I deserved treating myself, because I mean, yeah, I just got a little customer, but like I felt like again, so hard on myself, it wasn't enough for me, which is my issue. But like I never felt like I was worthy enough to like treat myself to like a small goal like that. And I feel like when you really focus on, like, the small things, like if you focus on the small things enough, they're eventually going to turn into small, like piles of small things, and then it's going to be like a huge thing.
yeah.
And like those small things, like I said, are going to add up. So like treat yourself. Like, one of the things that I used to do is, if I would get, I think it was like two, was it two, no, I think it was one distributor a week or something like that. That was like when I first started, because I needed to pay my car payment, which was $100, or $100, $400 a month. Okay, so I wanted to get a fast start bonus for every week of the month, and that was like the thing that I would do. And once I did that, like I would go treat myself to something small, like Starbucks or something like that, just to be like, yay, you did it. And it just made you want to like do it more, and it just, and especially that you want like something more serious, like you want a laptop, like, okay, I want to get 30 customers this month, or like whatever it is, like treat yourself after that, because that's amazing, like, so
Yeah, like once I hit Ruby, I bought myself an iPad
dang.
because like it's not only a treat for me, but it's actually helping for my business too. Because I'm an Android user and there's certain things that I can use for my business that's not available on Android, but is available for iPhone and iPad and stuff like that. So it's like a win-win on both. Like, I'm treating myself, but I'm also helping my business.
That's good. I love that. I don't even have an iPad. I
I
suck.
mean, I got the cheapest one. Like, I can only use it on Wi-Fi, and I got the cheapest one I could get, but it still helps.
Yeah, I need to get into that life. I feel like if I did have something, like I wouldn't even use it, just because my phone, like I'm just so fast now on my phone.
Oh no, dude. See, I thought I wouldn't use it, but I use it all the time.
Really?
Like, right now, I'm doing this Zoom on my laptop, but I usually do Zooms on my iPad.
Really? Well, then, yeah, I need that. Okay, that's so good.
So,
This was so, so good. So, like, what would you say? Okay, so if someone came to you, I mean, they can be new or not new, and like they're just really struggling. Like, I mean, they just have so many negative thoughts. They think they can't do this. They think they're a failure. They think they're not cut out for this. Like, all these things are happening. Maybe their personal life is crazy. And like, what would you tell them? What would you have them do first, or in order? Like, how would you help them?
okay, first off, why did you do this? Why did you start this? What are you doing this for? Are you doing this for yourself? Are you doing this for your family? What? And write it down and put it somewhere in front of you that you can see it all the time. Like, write that down so that you walk past it every day, and anytime you have a negative thought, you see that and you're like, okay. Because it's sometimes really easy to forget your why. Because you just get so caught up in everything, you just forget about your why. So if you write it down and put it somewhere that, like, where you walk around all the time, then you can see that and remind yourself about it. And then, like I said, it's really, really, really beneficial to me to talk to people. Just find somebody that you can completely open up to and just spill everything to, because, I mean, not just with this business, but with my whole life, I always bottled everything up. And it never worked out for me. It always made things worse because I would just, I would just break down, or I would just lash out at somebody or whatever. So it's not only for your life and for this business, just for you. Just talk to people if you're having a bad day.
And I feel like expect to not have a perfect day every day is going to help you too, because like when I started, like I was looking up at like Jade Hooper, Carrie Young, like all of these people that were like ambassador diamonds that like have the perfect life, like, but again, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So I always felt like I was like I was like not cut out for this because I was having a bad day. So like I was always comparing myself to like other people, which is like the death trap in this business. Like,
but that's why it's important to find somebody that you can talk to, because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. It can all look perfect, rainbows, unicorns, whatever, on social media, but you can bet your butt that they've got something going on.
Yeah, and they don't let it stop them.
Yeah, so that's why it's just really important to do your personal development, do your motivational stuff, and talk to people.
What's your favorite personal development? Like, is that YouTube? Is that a book? Is that podcast?
It's a mixture of the book You Are a Badass. I think I've read that 4 times now.
So good.
I love it. And then a mixture of, on YouTube, funnily enough, Matthew McConaughey. He's a really good motivational speaker.
Yes, he is.
And then Eric Thomas, because he just, like, yeah, you can't have any excuses when you're listening to him.
Yes, and like you have to find like what type of motivational speaker you like. Like I like someone in my face telling me my butt and do something. Like that's what I need. I need someone yelling at me, or you might need someone that's like more soft and like, oh. But
Yeah, like Oprah Winfrey is another good one, because she's more like kind of relatable, I guess. Like she's more like calm and collected, and if you need that more kind of calm, collected type thing, then Oprah Winfrey for sure.
She's like very wise. Like,
yeah.
Wise. So I love listening to her too. She has great stories, and she does say like amazing, mind blowing things. And who else is it? Jim Carrey. He's a really good one. His story about how he made $100,000 is a really good video if you want to look up. It's like I think it's an interview with him and Oprah. It's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think I have that one saved actually in my YouTube.
It's so mind blowing, and we talk about like dream boards and stuff like that all the time, and that's literally just what he did. He was the brokest he's ever been, and he wrote himself a check for $100,000, and or no, it might have been $1 million. Might have been $1 million, and he had this check in his wallet, written out to himself. I think he said for 7 years, and then that was when he got the role for Dumb and Dumber, and that's when he made $1 million. Insane. Like, how could it be the same number? It's because he manifested it, and he just thought about it, and he remembered it, and he put that out there in the universe, and he waited 7 years to get it.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that you just mentioned, actually, the whole dream board thing.
Mhm.
Like, that's helped me so much because I have my dream board written out. And so, especially if I'm having a super bad day, I'm just like, I go look at my dream board. And right now, I have a really piece of crap car that's like almost 20 years old and has broken down more times in the year than I've had it than I can really count. So, that is on my dream board, like buying a new car. And every day I get closer and closer and closer to that. So every day I get closer to my goals that are on my dream board because I'm paying down my credit cards and all that. So every day I'm getting closer. And that's a really good motivational thing too. Because I actually, this is another thing I do that I forgot to say. So I have my total debt written down. And anytime I make a payment to it, I change the number on my board so I can actually see in front of me, like, this number is going down. I'm making a difference here. I'm making a difference to my life because I'm paying down this debt and I can see it. I can see it happening.
That's so good.
So,
Yeah, if it's something like that, like paying off something, you want to get the exact number, like to the cents, like to every penny, just so you know exactly what you need. And that's like another thing with motivational, having that written out of like your dreams and like big dreams, like dreams that you can never imagine, because if your dreams are so small that they don't scare you, they're just not big enough. Like you need to be scared. You need to be real scared, because then that's what's gonna push you. That's gonna make you want to work. That's gonna make you want to do all the things that you have to do. Sometimes like when you don't want to do them, to make that happen, because they're so big, they're so extravagant, and but with this business, they're so doable. You know what I mean? It's just awesome to have everything written out, and like it's awesome too. I forget who I was talking about this with, but to cross it off, like to have it written out and then cross that sucker off feels so good, so good. So definitely having like all of your stuff written out, your dream board, your goals, your why. And like that's another thing, like have your why be something so strong that when you are feeling unmotivated, it's kind of impossible to feel unmotivated. Yeah, you might have like a bad feeling, but like in general, in an all, like it's just so hard not to do something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my why obviously has always been this loony boon over here. That's cows, it's fine. But like, because I always tell people, like, I have two eyeballs looking at me constantly. I can have a moment where I can go in my closet and cry for 10 seconds because I don't believe in myself. And once I'm done, like these eyeballs are still looking at me. So like I have two choices. I can either do it or I cannot do it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's always motivated me no matter what. Like always. Okay, so does anyone have any questions? Oh, there's some stuff in the chat. Hold on. Any questions? Like we're just gonna open it now for some questions. So do you guys have any questions? Things that she's doing, videos, or that you want her to send, anything?
I do. So Kirsten, you said that like, you have, goals that you set for yourself every day and stuff like that. What kind of goals do you set every day? What kind of lists do you make for yourself? I know Jamie said that she has a 6 list, but what kind of goals do you set for yourself every day? Like with posting, messaging, and stuff like that.
yeah, so I have to make sure, like, I make sure that I add at least 50 people a day, message 50 people a day, get anywhere from 5 to 10 posts up. If I can get more than that, heck yeah.
Right.
Make sure I posted my stories, make sure I'm following up with people. Like I follow up with people every day. I know we're supposed to follow up on Fridays, but I follow up with people every day. It's just what I do. Like I find it easier because I go back through previous posts and I'm like, okay, follow up with them, follow up with them, follow up with them, like yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, and like the whole follow up Fridays, and you're in the business, that list is so long to do it like impossible. So yeah, I definitely do like the next day look thing whenever I talk to them. But yeah, so I mean, like set your standard for yourself every day. Like something that if you do every single day, like it will make you feel so good and so accomplished. And like write it down and check it off, because like, and especially with this business, since we work through our phones, like it can feel like we didn't do anything all day. Like I get times like that where I'm like, I did not do anything all day, but I really did, but I didn't feel like I did because what I do is so easy. You know what I'm saying? So like when you have a list of things you need to get done and you know you check them off, it's like, okay, I did do a lot today. Like I did do it. You know what I mean? So that's definitely helped me, because I always feel like I could always be doing more. Yeah, but I'm just crazy. Okay, so does anyone else have any questions? This was so good. Like I'm so pumped. I'm ready to work for like the next 6 hours. Like who's down?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay up till 2 a.m. again.
I know, like hello, and like that's another thing, like having like little team power hours. Like I feel like it's so fun. And I don't know, like I feel like I was literally laying on my couch and I was like, I'm just gonna make $1 million over here, like oh, it was so good. It's so fun. So yeah, I think this is amazing. So I hope this helped everybody. Like I said, Kirsten is amazing. Feel free to follow her. Don't add her because she ain't got space on her friends list for her to post right now. But follow her, and like I don't know, I just feel like the main thing I want everyone to take away from this is to just really know yourself and know like when you're getting in that feeling, just nip that in the butt real fast and pay attention to yourself and just find ways for yourself that just help you feel better of what you're doing. Dakota. Just help you get past it, because if you don't get past it, it's just going to be a cycle. So definitely get to know yourself and pay attention. That's like the biggest thing.
Yes.
So you don't go there, because this business is meant to be so fun, and we put so much stress on ourselves, which we should, but it's still fun at the end of the day. So have fun, go out there, build your businesses, get charted, get your promotions, but have fun at the same time and show people you're having fun. Then they're gonna be like, I want to do what she does. Let's do it. So okay, so if no one has any questions, we're gonna end this. So yeah, thank you, Kristen, for like hopping on with us. So you can stop whenever. You can end it or you stop it. I don't know how you